Hey honeys, it's Ashley. Thank you so much for listening to part 1 of Honey It's Yours. This is now part 2 of the episode. Hope you enjoy.
Fast money. The thing about the whole Forex movement, not actual Forex, but
where are they?
IML Academy. This was this big thing.
Where are the Forex?
You will make this much money. You will have this car. You will have this lifestyle if you just do this, this, and this. So they want to pay someone to do it. They like it's a whole lot of piggybacking off of other people to put on this facade of success. And the success isn't even I got the big CEO job. The success is just I have the CEO check. Like a lot of us as a collective came from slim pickings, so everyone just wants to have the bread. Like it's even like I'm hearing it in myself. It's like there's no job. I just want the money. I just want the experience that comes with it. I just want the free vacations. I just want the benefit of the quote unquote hard work. And if there's a fast way to get to it, I'm gonna do it. I'm posting my reels on IG when they paying me to post them. I'm not posting nothing if nobody's sending me no bread, but that's my passion, right? That's my dream. So it's this very convoluted vision of what success really is.
And to add another layer to that, I'm sorry, Danae, but to add another layer to that is that this week I heard a guy say like, "Oh, I'm coming up to that age where I need to figure out that career aspect instead of a job. Like I'm really thinking about like career instead of a job." And I'm like I feel like I don't know, like that whole thing of like now we're coming to age, now you have to figure it out. Like, and he's in the same age range as me myself, so it's kind of like,
what have you been doing?
Not only that, but it's kind of like, damn, like I don't even know how to put it into words. Just like,
this is the pool. That's what you thought. It's okay.
Not only this is
you
the
cannot
pool.
Be my husband.
I thought this is the pool. I thought this is sad that this is now you've come to an age that now life is kicking in. Now you're thinking about how am I going to feed my family. The third part is like, wow, that's a privilege. That's a privilege for us to be like, okay, now let me think about my future.
I've survived up until this point.
Yeah, like
now
I've enjoyed life.
It's about to hit the fan.
Let me figure out how to make a career. And then to go further into the conversation, right? So he was talking to his boy about it, and then I was eavesdropping. We're just sitting in the outskirts, and then he turned to me because he saw that I was listening. He was like, "Yeah, like." And I've been thinking, like, the only thing I really want to do is that was the dream, to play in the NBA. But if you're my age, still thinking about playing in the NBA, and you're not in college basketball, you're not in a league, bro. Why are we still thinking about this dream? Like, let's think about, okay, you want to be in the NBA? Let's think about the organization as a whole. Let's think about there's different parts of a business that needs to be run by people. There's people that work for teams. There's people that work in the arenas. There's people that work behind the computers. There's people that taking pictures of the players. There's people making sure that the jerseys are ready for the game day. Like, there's so many layers behind what you see on the TV.
You just want to be on the TV. That's what I'm talking about. It's a surface level version of success.
Like, I don't know. It's just very mind blowing to me. I feel like everybody in our age range is trying to figure it out in the sense of trying to switch over from job to career.
So I have a lot to say, but also very little, because I feel like one.
Sitting here itching, bro.
Yeah, because it's just like
huffing and puffing.
I was not huffing that much.
See how I feel, right? But I just don't make no noise.
Actually, but your face,
it make noise.
It make mad noise. Your face be loud. Okay,
your face just speaks. That's it. Speak.
Your face be loud. You see when you ask if they could approach you, your face is loud.
Nah, bro. Approach.
But
it's jokes up here.
What I was gonna say is, one, I genuinely don't think any of this is new. Like, we talk about it obviously from our generation because we have it, but every generation has this. Like, and I'm even thinking about it from a very different perspective. I would say like different a way to approach this, and I can only approach it from what I know, and I'm really the Christian on here today. It's crazy, but like the concept of like the wealth prosperity doctrine. And like, if you do this, you'll get the car. If you do this, you'll get. None of these things are new. Like, that's just like how that is just human nature. But in addition to that too, I'm not trying to play devil's advocate because I agree that
the devil don't need no advocate.
And I honestly don't even think it's a devil's advocate thing. I just think it's the genuine truth is that we are products of our environment. We have an instant gratification generation because they provided us with instant gratification.
The internet.
You don't work as hard as your parents because your parents have allowed you to not work as hard as them. Some people grind crazy because they've either put themselves in a situation where they will literally die if they do not, or that's literally all they see, all they know, all they can do, all they can think. Kanye was a product. Of course, there's certain things that are you. Like, there's a certain point where you can no more, you can't just say nature nurture. Like, you have to do the work. But to a certain extent, you are a product of your environment. You walk into rooms the way you walk into rooms because of who raised you. People can see me. I'm not my mother's kid, but, oh yeah, that's Vilna's kid. Because you're a product of the spaces that you're in to a certain extent. So yes, it's that's why I said I have nothing to really say, because it's just like, it's not new. It's just a different presentation of the same things with different people. We always have those people who you have to show them, like, do you not see that the whole world is in front of you?
Yeah.
You have those people who are going to go hard, go crazy. You're going to have those people that's going to do nothing. And that's just what it is.
But I'm saying, like, a big majority of us are waiting until it could be a career, their what's called their significant other, marriage, whatever. They don't want something unless it looks a specific way. And the way that they got this look a specific way, it's not even real. You know what I'm saying?
It's not real to you.
So. No, I'm saying it's like the sense of like
it's almost like it's like a perfect world type of thing, and it's like they won't stop till they get that exact thing. But in reality, like you got to learn to give and take.
It's kind of like you're not wasting. I hate the word wasting time, but you're wasting time until you get this specific thing. But it's like you're not gonna accept anything else
in between.
And this is crazy because I'm kind of contradicting. Like, I'm trying to work out the logic behind that statement, but it's kind of like, do we take what we can until we get what we want?
You need experience.
And that's why I'm saying, like, it really it's
right now.
It's not the same for everybody, because for you, going into the corporate space and deciding that, like, no, there are certain, like, you're not gonna take that lowest offer because you know that there's something more. To you, that's like not a like, how do I say this? I'm trying to say, like, you could be looking at them saying that they're wasting time, and they could be looking at you and saying you're settling for lower. And it's all situational, it's all subjective. So it's almost like everybody's crazy is a different crazy. And the people who wait it out, there are some people who may not get anything from it, and then there are certain people that will be like, yo,
look back,
it took them 15 years, but now they got me looking stupid.
You know why I'm saying this now? It's not resonating, bro. I'm rewatching the series Insecure, right? In the beginning, Lawrence, he didn't want to take an entry-level job because he knows that he went to school and the app that he was working on is better than the companies that he's applying for. Like, his app is way further on than what the companies are at right now. So I'm not going to take these entry-level jobs. But he ended up taking that Best Buy job until he was able to work, you know.
Not on Lawrence.
Not your Lawrence. No, I'm not saying you're Lawrence, but I'm saying, like, that
she should have chosen
a great
anyways.
Example of, like, I feel like what we're struggling with in our generation right now.
And I think it's like seeing what you want for yourself, but a lot of those decisions also come down to when you start compromising for other wants that you want outside of that specific want, right? So you may, like, I may have this job, or I may be waiting for this job, but I want a family, and I'm like, my husband is ready to move this way, and I'm willing to make that thing. That's why, like, it's like I really struggle to even talk about this because I feel like there's no room to talk about it for anybody else but yourself. Like,
it's true.
We can spend a lot of time having the conversation and just saying, like, oh, it's just like it really doesn't matter. It's like, what does it look like for you? What is your ballpark? How do you know when you've gone too far? How do you know when you're settling, or how do you know when you're holding out? Because for me, I think, going back to, like, even what Sarah was saying earlier with, like, comparison and all these things in LinkedIn, or just, like, the whole process of law school, I did well. And when you do well, there's a certain trajectory that you're expected to go in, right? Yeah. And I think I came into law school knowing very specifically what I wanted. When I told people, oh yeah, I want to do IP and art law and maybe do like some like, you know, I just want to help small business. They're looking at me like, what? Like, what? Why don't you want this? And like, you go through that period where it's like, how steadfast do you want to remain in what you know for yourself and what you have designed for yourself and which you feel like this is the space that you're supposed to be in? How much do you give? At what points in time do you give? When does giving feel like you're giving up yourself versus making steps forward? When people are looking at me crazy now, like choosing the path I chose, or still saying like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm still only here to do this. It's just like, shorty, give that up. Like, I love my office of career services, but shorty was also looking at me like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like, you want to go to this firm that is not even ranked? Like, it doesn't even have a ranking when you're getting into top 10, top 15, top 20 firm. Like, it's a hard thing to do. And I think it's really just, you got to get to a point where you know yourself, or you got to, I think for me, and
that part.
I'm really talking to myself because
it's knowing yourself.
I got to put God in it for me, for it to really keep me sane while I figure it out.
Know yourself. It's like that battle. Know yourself, but are you selling yourself short? Like, for example, in that example, like you know what you want, right? And the idea of what you want, this non-ranked firm is the path for it, is the path that you see it working through, right? But then are you selling yourself short but not going to the top 10, top 20?
But who's deciding what is selling myself short?
Oh.
And I think the thing is like,
that's the
allowing people to come into your space to show you other things, but then still being able to have the discernment for yourself to decide what works for you. And staying confident in that, because even like taking it outside of this.
So
like,
then, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
But to add another layer, because you know this life is not just single layered. But then the reality of like that unranked firm, you're gonna be making less than that top ranked firm, right? And in the reality of things, inflation. We live in New York. We have the aspiration of owning our own house. We have the aspiration of having a family, a two-parent family home where you have your own car. You're able to send your kids to the top school. So like, and it's not like we're getting younger, right? We're not Benjamin Button, right?
Absolutely.
So it's similar to what the guy was saying. Like we have to think beyond our next 5 years. When everyone's like, so what's your 5-year plan? Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to this school. No, the 5-year plan is
we're living
totally,
the 5-year plan,
bro. It's totally different. Or even the next 2 years is different, right? Literally. Anything can happen in the next 2 years, where it's like me taking this shot and believing that I'm not selling myself short, and I'm moving in the path of what I want for myself. Changes what you like. How does what you want for yourself and your future goals in the reality of inflation, what is that?
And I still think it's a hard I'm sorry, I'm sucking at this episode because I'm just like, it's a hard conversation to have, because it's
I'm
just like,
out the question, not to answer, but it's just like,
I just want to live comfortably.
Because it's just
but
like,
what does that mean?
And that's what I was gonna say, because that may not be
that's my go-to.
What, like, in terms of like the reality, like your reality can change at any given moment.
Yeah.
So it could be, I need to prep for the reality, but it's also like these parts of the reality are the parts that I don't have control over, but I have control over my comfort, what makes me happy, what makes me whole and secure. And when you have other layers, like we're Christians, we have the other layer of God will work it out. If I put it in his hands and I do what I need to do for my part, he will work it out. I said this to you one time, I'm like, I thought I had this really big dream of this crazy house and all these things, and I still do, but another real dream for me is I want the ability to pick up and go and travel when I get to that point. So really and truly, that may not actually be the dream that I thought I had. So why am I focusing so hard on that part of it? Like, I think that's like my biggest thing is like, maybe I'm not selling myself short. Maybe I'm not living outside of my reality. My reality right now in this moment is me here in New York. I've been saying I'm not moving out of New York, and tomorrow I might be in Wisconsin, bro. Like, it's just you just don't know to a certain extent. And I feel like
not Wisconsin.
No, but I think
not that bad. Huh?
I think it's just like,
shout out to Wisconsin.
Shout out to Wisconsin.
I don't know. I just think that's the part that really like gets to me. And I think maybe it's also the fact that like I chose to not do accounting or finance when I had the chance, and I chose to go to entrepreneurial route. Like I think it's just a me thing, but it's just like at certain points something gotta give, and you gotta know yourself and trust yourself enough to know when you're gonna move, when you're gonna pause, when you're gonna figure it out, when you're gonna step back and do what you don't want to do to get you back on track. But like it's just a hard
thing.
It
all comes back to we just having a privileged ass conversation, bro.
Super.
Yes.
So I've been wanting to say this for a solid like 15 minutes. The reason why we all think a certain way, or we all are trying to do something with our lives, because we were raised to not just sit here and do nothing,
bro.
Like you were, my parents they care about what I do with my life, but it's not like, it's just as long as I'm not doing nothing. As long as I'm not just sitting here on my butt, because they didn't move here for nothing.
But what if nothing is what you want?
Well, you need to go do nothing for yourself.
That's not an option.
That's not an option.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, but even,
that is an option, just not in their house.
But here's the thing. I think even for us, I just messed up my mic. I think we would be doing our parents a huge disservice if we sat on our ass and did nothing.
But I feel like we have the option to do so, given them coming here. Like, if we were still in Jamaica, I can't do nothing. I gotta walk to the river to get water for us to clean.
Yeah.
But like here, it's like you are now exposed to the privilege of being set up in a space where you can make money without even going to work. You could own 6 properties and have people paying your bills for you. Like, there are different means of a career that can make it so that you yourself are physically doing nothing because you are being provided for outside of.
But that's not
for this house thing, the house example. Or even money, you need to do something with your life before that to buy those properties. Then you can sit on your butt and do nothing.
But let's take it to other unconventional things where it's legit outside of investment properties, because like that's a whole different realm of thing. But like legit having the privilege to do nothing and be okay with doing nothing because you have the privilege to do nothing.
Like, I could live in my home. I would hear it, but I could live in my home and not pay no bills. I could wake up every morning, eat, wash off, sleep, wake up again, go out, drive a car that has gas, come back home, sleep, and do it again. Would I hear mouth the next day?
And then,
absolutely. But I can still, I'm in a space where I'm provided for, so I can do that.
And then even
that's
to
a
go
privilege they didn't
further
have.
outside of the space, but we have this a different mindset where it's like we're also women, right? And in society, right, in the traditional sense, you can continue doing nothing if you find the man to do everything for you to do nothing for.
The housewife lifestyle.
I can never do that.
If I'm saying if I could,
this is where maybe we're different.
I would like, and that's not on some. I'm going to go to Pilates every morning and come home and do nothing.
Yes, you will.
I'm also gonna be.
She's gonna go to the bar
because I find maybe because of how I was raised, but I am not opposed to the traditional values of the woman cleans the house, she watches the children, she does this, she does that, and the man provides. And I'm okay with having a little Avon set in the basement with the necklaces and the beauty supply. And if you want to come through and buy some stuff, and hey, honey, look at my check. Look at the money I made. I'm okay with that.
I was listening to a podcast.
Good with that.
Shout out to the Receipts podcast where it's like, she was like, I want to come home and my husband think that my check was cute. Oh, that's cute.
That's like
you can keep that. And I still got the.
I want my husband to think my check is cute too.
Even with your job.
Even is about to be fat.
Even with your job.
Exactly. And I still want him to think it's cute.
That's not realistic though.
So you're gonna be making more than your man.
But
correct. We can have that's a whole other episode.
I have no issue with that, but
that's a whole other episode.
What I was gonna say
I'm not saying it's wrong or right. Don't kill.
The definition of nothing is the thing that we're talking about, because even to us, somebody else is still sitting down like, oh my God, that is so sad that you're even thinking about that. How may you have to provide? Like, they let their kids take a gap year to figure out things. And it's just a different level of privilege. Yeah. And as we get older and as we do better, because it's innate in us to want that because of how we were raised and the environment that we came from and all the things that just come with being us in this space, our kids will be what we consider a little ungrateful. And then our grandkids, they will be absolutely ungrateful. And then our great-grands will be disgusting. And guess what? That's exactly what we wanted.
Jesus comes at that point.
Like, that's exactly what we wanted. Bro, and that's why I feel like I try not to judge. I try not to judge too much. I try, like, when I see people who, to me, it feels like they're not doing what they need to do, I try to just offer solutions.
I try to step out of that.
I stick to my own path because everybody's in their own.
I try to just have the conversation. Yeah, I try to just
unless you seek advice.
Well, I try to ask. I mean, I'm thinking like these are conversations that people we have in our circles, right? So I'm like, if there's a guy that I'm talking to, or a girl that I'm talking to, and they don't know, I'm asking questions, and I'm asking questions almost to just get them to start thinking,
right.
Like, where are you going? How do you want? Okay, what do you like to do? What do you want to do? Did you know that there's these other things to do? Have you ever looked into LinkedIn Learning to see what they have there? Google has this whole space where they're just teaching you how to do things. We're talking from, like, sometimes us are, like, disbelief is really just somebody's unknown. So I try to operate, at least for me, in those places from that space.
And it's also, I think this got pointed out to me too, is like also when you're talking to somebody that you feel that they don't know, they don't know is enough. Right? Can you elaborate on that? Like, for example, like if I'm saying that, if I'm looking at you, I want to be this big corporate girly and you want to be a housewife, right? Let's say you don't know that you could.
I didn't even know I could be a corporate.
You
girly.
could be a corporate girly and working in Instagram. And I show you, you can still do this and this and this. It's like, no, but doing this is enough for me.
So, like, not necessarily.
Like, I don't have to have this
her
big
dream is not your dream.
Ambition because it's enough for me. Like, I don't need to look at LinkedIn Learning. You telling me LinkedIn Learning and all that.
I'm content.
I'm good over here.
And that's literally more than fine. Like, I think the issue is that everybody tries to, like, everybody thinks that everybody wants to be on your mentality. You're expecting you out of other people. And that's not realistic. I'm agreeing with you by that. I just want to elaborate.
Yeah.
No, I feel you.
This is like, okay.
And you could just choose whether to have them in your circle or not. We still
That's the big
we have
one.
control. No, it's like we have control about so many other things. If you did your part.
But why? Why now do you have to decide if you want them in your circle or not?
Because you get control over who you want in your life.
Because they don't share the same ambition as you.
Well, I think it depends as to what you want for yourself. Like,
I think if I want to be the biggest boss, owning the venture capitalist, having so many stakes in so many companies, and my friend is content being a housewife, I don't think I have to now question, do I want her in my circle or not, because she doesn't have the same values or not.
I agree. It's more so the pouring into of, you're doing too much. You should just sell those stocks. I'm thinking.
No, but if you're content with what you're doing and you're not trying to change
and vice versa, then I think it's safe.
Then I don't think I have to question.
But I think she was talking about
I wasn't talking about like if there's a person already in your circle. I'm talking about when you're having these conversations.
If
but
someone is
I think like my mindset behind it is more so when you're in certain spaces doing certain things, you may want people that move with a certain mindset to help you along that journey. It's not an end all be all, but I'm sorry, where I am right now, I would like people with a certain level of ambition around me, because there are times when I'm going to be low on that, and I want to know that I have people around me in that same space that can lift me up in that way. I'm not thinking of it as
having multiple circles, I guess.
Right, and I'm not saying that because you don't have what you want for yourself doesn't look the same as me, we can't be friends. But there's different things that I go to for different people for. It's like even outside of this, they always say if you're in business, it's important to a certain extent to have somebody else who's an entrepreneur also in your life. Because I can talk to y'all about it all day and y'all still will not get it. Yeah. Because it's not your reality. And when I'm low in this moment, I may want to talk to that person that can meet me where I am. So it's not because you don't have the same goals as me, I have nothing to do with you. It's just if I'm at a certain place and I'm looking at things in certain conversations, I treat it like any other value system, any other characteristic. Is this a characteristic that I have space for where I am right now? And if not, that's okay too. I could love you from afar. I could still check on you. I could still see how you're doing. But no, you're not in the group chat. Not in my group chat. They could be in yours if you like that. If that works for you, that's fine.
It's like you seek advice from those who are in places where you want to be. Like, I will talk to professionals who are in spaces where I want to be if I want advice on a situation, because they're in a place where I want to be at. It's like, I'm not going to talk to, you feel me, my friends at Arrow Oneness about how I can break back into tech, because they're just not there.
True.
You know,
but I think I have a different view, because I'm the only one that's an accountant in my family. Like everyone else is in a health professional, health sciences role, right? And I feel like there's value in having a diversified circle, right?
I think that's important.
So it's like, as much as I would love to be surrounded by
accountants,
only so I can feel like I know if I had questions I can get to this, but it's also like finding the value and discerning what information I can take from someone that isn't in the same space as me.
Well,
right?
I
like
hope
if
that's
I want
not
to,
what you got from what I said, though.
No.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I'm
adding.
I'm like, I agree with you. I'm
adding to the conversation. I'm just saying. Like, I feel like
no, because the way she said it, I was like, but I'm like, wait, hold on.
That wasn't said. Like,
we
were going around the same sense of having people have the same ambition as you, but there's also value in having a diversified circle. I was just adding that.
Yeah, no, I was just asking. There's no beef. I agree.
This conversation is very interesting, because I'm realizing that there is a fourth trajectory now of my life that I wanted to go in, which doesn't make it any easier, because
we're here for you.
It's like I have all this be a housewife. That wasn't on my list of threes. It was travel blogger, tech gal, teach.
She's a woman of all things. Just know that.
Housewife.
Ree can really do anything.
That's the problem, though. Like, I even said this the other day.
In a world of you can.
What is the phrase?
Really
Jack of all trades, master of none. It's
but
like,
then
I can do a little bit of everything.
No, but there's an ending of that saying, and I'm gonna find
What's the
it.
ending?
The ending is that it's better to be a jack of all trades than a master of none.
Because
I don't know.
No.
We don't know.
Because all it does is lead to one-sided interviews where you feel like you got just enough for them to teach you something, but not enough for them to hire you. Even though when they do hire you, they're still going to teach you everything that you need to know for the stupid
That is
job.
absolutely untrue.
What?
That's not true.
That is
for every job that I've had thus far, everything that I've brought to the table, they have re-taught me in my training.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm talking about the part where you said that's what it leads to. That is absolutely incorrect.
Being a jack of all trades and a master of none.
Leads to that. It's
untrue. Leads to closed doors.
But it also leads to, like, when you go into certain spaces, they're absolutely confused as to how the hell you ended up here.
No, but you're also able to adapt in different situations.
Yes.
But going to the whole part of, like, that interview process, right?
Yak. Sorry, that was inappropriate.
No, it was appropriate.
Okay, I found the quote. That's the quote.
What was it?
I was you want it now?
Yeah, because
the jack of all trades.
A jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one.
Yeah.
Oftentimes my foot.
No, because imagine
all you
now,
can do is one thing.
All you know is red.
All you could do is one thing, and AI, boom, finish. You're done.
You have no diversification of your portfolio. At least now you know how to teach. You know how to control a classroom. You know how to project manage, because you have a schedule of what you're going to teach your program and planning in advance. That's bro.
Yeah, you're right.
You're not wrong.
You are a teacher. I can have mastered 30 personalities in a row.
That's managing.
Nobody can have
360 personalities. But the thing is, it's like I have all these traits, and it's like I know I'm good. Like I know I have what it takes. I have everything that you need for the table plus the table. But it's now the opportunity of getting the chance to prove that.
You have to find the cat door.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
It's not the back door or the front door or the window. It is the little cat door.
How do you find that? How do you find a meow meow?
It's like Lawrence doing the entry job.
Damn.
Let's not compare Lawrence.
Because
not Lawrence. I'm just saying.
I already had my retail job.
No. I'm not saying going Best Buy. I'm not talking about Best Buy. I'm saying him taking that job at a company where his app was better than their app.
I understand. So like humbling myself and taking an entry level, even though I know I'm worth more. Because that's what it was. I felt like I'm applying for jobs where I know I'm qualified, but like you need 6 years of experience, right? And I'm getting to the point where I can say I don't have those 6 years, but I have what can fill the space, and I have what it takes to learn what I need for those 6 years of experience. And it's like, oh, cool. We'll let you know. And I follow up, and then it's crickets.
Do it again. Oh, I'll let you know. Yeah, that's
I think, and this, and we can definitely continue this, like, when the world's not listening. But also, like, is there a way that, like, you can go into rooms, and so I don't remember that much from Insecure, but going into rooms and creating that job for yourself.
Definitely.
Because I understand that you need a certain level of experience, but that's why I'm generally asking for your field. Is there a way for you to do the certain things in the LinkedIn and the whatevers and get the certifications, and then let's say, not my business, but walk into
GitHub,
a business,
you know exactly,
create your job for yourself,
like an ad hoc.
you can get your experience that way, and now you can go into a space and have the experience. And it's literally like, I did it all here. Anything in this was me.
Because I did my master's in data analytics, so it's like after I graduated, my professor was like, okay, now you have your degree. Now just take the little Google certification test, because you already learned everything that's on there. So that's a check for a data analyst, because you're gonna need some type of certification for data analyst, right? Then it's like all these projects that we did through the whole course of the year. Put them all on your GitHub or whatever, the whole project thing, and write it very nicely, saying that I've worked on all these projects, right? Here you go. Here's my experience of projects that I've worked on in this data analytics thing. I've analyzed this and created a data warehouse with this, and even used AI to pull stats from this on the back end, and use Python to do this and this, and write it all
Fiverr and see what small business need help with something.
And then you go find, let's say, because I'll just use my example. I even used this in my interview when I got my job. I was like, okay, I made this this data warehouse for Spotify. I used the AI to pull the analytics of what podcasts are used and times and dates, and I made a whole chart how business users can see if they wanted to create a new podcast. They can see what categories and what length of time or whatever. And then with that whole project, I lost my train of thought. Where I was going.
Yeah, I'm confused.
How you
after you pull all that information?
Yeah, pull the experience of that, right? Now I would use that, right? And I say, okay, now I want a job at Spotify. Now I go on LinkedIn, find a data analyst that works in the podcast department. Be like, hey, I was just working on this project. Here's a link to my GitHub of how I did this, so that future business learners would love to talk to you about this. Boom.
Secured.
But this goes to my thing of that hustle culture, because I know people that would create, like, on their free time, 5 different projects going on. Like, for example, that's what I'm saying. That hustle of, I'm gonna create these 5 data warehouses and then create a whole ebook about how I created this, and that's use Excel, blah blah blah. And then I got this job by emailing 10 people a day, 10 applications this time, 10 applications this time. I made a whole Excel spreadsheet, and every day I would type in how many hours. It's like those people that do all-nighters, and you'd be looking at them like, damn.
Drink a Celsius.
But that's what I'm talking about. So much more than hustle, though.
But that's what I'm talking about. Like,
drink a Celsius.
No, I heard that's good, bad for your heart.
Just keep going.
I feel like that's the part I'm saying.
Yes.
Are we missing?
I get that.
Yes, it is missing.
But no.
It's kind of like a yes, no,
because now we see that there are other things that are equally as important as that. Or also, too, Rihanna has that ambition in her.
She don't.
No, but what I'm also
after 2 apps, I'm going to sleep.
But what I'm also saying,
I felt this one. This is the one. Don't even need to do nothing else.
Prayed on it.
Yes, this is the one.
I got to point.
But then that's also one. Did Rihanna even know that she could do all those things, right? Mm-hmm. So if you didn't know Rihanna, I'm sorry. If you didn't know Rihanna, you could look at Rihanna and be like, she's not a hustler, but she didn't have the knowledge. Maybe she did have the knowledge and she did a couple, but she also know for her sanity, she cannot do all of these today because she will not be a better person. And in that space, was she in a room with other people who can now help her?
And this is a segue to when we're talking about LinkedIn and the problem with LinkedIn.
Oh,
right?
I hate that place so much.
Because LinkedIn is not a real place.
Bro, it is. It's not. Bro.
People lie. People lie and deceive, just like Facebook, just like Instagram. LinkedIn is another social media.
No, but I feel like LinkedIn is worse than Instagram, bro.
It is worse.
Bro,
it's Instagram times 10,000.
I am so
minus
honored.
the bikini pictures.
I post a LinkedIn.
Like, you don't speak like this, bro.
I related.
I'm privileged to announce that I had the opportunity to become a member of.
You know how on Instagram, you know that there's a filter on this picture. You know this girl
Filter
is
on the
not
caption.
real in real life. You know this guy is hatfishing. It's not real in real life, right? LinkedIn is where you know this person does not speak like this in real life.
That's me.
Caption fishing.
I'm
say
so
related. Anyone
honored
else?
to announce that I'll be entering the next. Shut up.
Thank you so much for all of you who have helped me on my journey.
No one talked to you. Tagging these,
With the claps.
tagging people,
But
tagging.
you know what it is?
Yo, I feel like, is this real? And then you start being like, yo, did I go to the same school as you, bro?
No, but here's the thing about LinkedIn. Or
I
the,
was
the way
sitting with
I
you,
look
bro.
at LinkedIn. I look at LinkedIn like it's a way. You know how you're building your network, right? And it like makes sure you keep in contact with all of these people.
Nice.
And like there's
My
certain
network is
people
big,
who, at
though.
least right now in law school, I'm trying. Like people who I've met, I try to like. I just sent out my summer update email. Hey, it's funny that you noticed, my man. Thank you for all your help thus far in my journey. I think of LinkedIn as like my updates for all of my network who have helped me along the way. So that's why I feel like it gets a little like fluff because you're doing like the general. This is keeping everybody
It's
in
not
your
real.
circle in tune,
to date
but you
with
have
what
to
you're
understand absolutely that it's not real because LinkedIn is the professional social media. So
Because-
you're never gonna see me talking.
The same way that my
Like
intern
this.
texts me on my phone, same way that I would text a mentor if I had one, be like, yo, guess what? This is what's going on with me now. When you put it on LinkedIn and you want other people to see, I feel like that's the part. When you feel like you want other people to see, for me, it takes away the genuine.
But how are you deciding
But
that
this
they
whole
want
I said
other
for
careers-
me.
No,
this
I said
whole
how are you
career's
deciding
for
that
me.
it's them that they want other people to
For
see?
me, it's because you put it online. Anything that you put online, you want everybody to see. Unless why it's not private?
Even if it's
Why it's not
private.
private?
Even if it is private.
But for us, it's like it's almost protocol that you post.
That's
like,
what I'm
It's almost
saying.
protocol that you
Because
post
you
where
want
you're
people
going
to
next.
see it.
No, but it's also like you have to let because
you know
because
what?
recruiters and stuff look at your LinkedIn and
Because
they
you want
they-
us to see it.
I see what she's saying.
Okay, but we have no choice but to do that.
But it's not saying it's a problem.
I'm
I'm just saying that the purpose is
It
that
sounded
you're
like a
posting
problem
it
Making
to
it
be
sound like a
seen.
problem.
No, it's
listen, y'all
being
know.
posted to be seen. Like the purpose, the reason why it's losing its quote unquote genuinely. It's not like you're calling a girl like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited, I got accepted to
Who
this firm.
said LinkedIn was genuine to begin with? I never
I said that's
assumed
fake.
it. Also, I didn't
It's
know
fake.
fake.
LinkedIn not real.
When? So
Like,
like you
it's
have
fake.
any genuinity to lose.
How about we do this?
Oh, I see.
The
And I'm like,
internet,
my mentors
I
are
get
like
it.
not my actual mentors. It was like, you know,
the
the
internet
mentor
is not real.
programs.
Yeah.
Internet not
The
real,
whole of it
bro.
is not real, bro.
But you know what? It goes back to playing the game.
It's
You
all a
want the
game.
recruiters. You want the next job. You want people to see where you at.
That's
So,
gonna lose me.
You send an email saying, hey,
Hi.
it was great meeting
The
you.
amount of cold emails
It
that I
was
have had to send.
Meeting. If I had one more
It was great. Thank you so much for my time here. This is my
I
next
would
step in
love
my
to
journey. Blah 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 blah
reconnect.
blah. I would love to stay connected. You have to play those games because it's who you know.
It really is.
It's who you know.
What
But
I
the thing
know.
is, like for me, I can discern when the person is reaching out for real, or it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like when you send the thank you email after the interview.
We all know. I just
If it's not a personalized, like if you can't say something in that email that like you really got from your interview with them, then you know it's.
But even
Come
that,
on.
you know, all my years. Okay, so I've been doing this corporate
It's corporate bad
game
news.
since my junior year of high school, right? I learned that trick from back then. In your interview, you're supposed to have a little notepad so you can
find
take notes
something.
of the conversation. First of all, I struggle with that because how I'm having a genuine conversation
And I
with you
gotta
and
write down. You
It's
said that one more
almost-
time?
Yeah, no, I don't do that.
or right after the interview, I'm running
Write
to
down everything.
I wrote,
Yeah.
Everything
so that I
said.
can remember to send an
say it
email,
back.
right? So I struggle with that, and then I also, when I got to college, right, and I had my mentor he was like, yeah, sometimes with the professors you gotta really kiss. I'm like, I'm not
I
about to
didn't
kiss
make no.
nobody's
I made
ass.
no
That's
connections
it.
with any professor.
That's
I'm
it,
about not to
bruh.
kiss nobody's ass. But then when it came time for me to do my independent study, I realized,
You need
okay, it's not kissing ass. It's trying to build a relationship. And that's a whole nother thing of like when you're older, how do you build relationships with people, right? So now you gotta go back like, hey, I remember we had this conversation. Would you be interested to be my independent study professor? Or, hey, I remember we had the conversation. Is it able for you to forward me this, whatever for this recruiter, or this meeting, or this networking event? That's the work I'm saying that I don't know if I'm, me personally. Actually, I think there's a limit to my ambition.
Same.
I'm not going to be that person that has an Excel sheet of how many times I'm going to apply for the day. How many projects I'm going to complete for the day.
You ain't have to try to add me like that.
Yeah, you have to. We both have Excel sheets.
I'm supposed to know that.
Excel sheets is how I made it through.
We need
I'm
the Excel sheets.
I used to bro. I went through the whole job thing. I went through it.
Did you do an Excel sheet too?
No, I didn't. But I was watching a whole bunch of recruiters and their tips and how
they all happen at the same time. I need to know.
They said you mean Excel sheet.
Okay. They said that here they gave Excel sheets, bro, and templates to use.
Got it.
Okay. So
I guess I need
I'm not adding nobody, but me, Ashley, I had a
I
limit.
need an Excel sheet. I don't have one.
I had a limit to my ambitions. And I also believe if I sat still
And know that
the
he's
Lord,
God. Come on.
Nah,
that part.
Got it.
okay? If I sat still, the Lord provided. He did. So.
Amen.
All right.
But then I didn't have to wait though. That's the part. Waiting well and making sure. I had the faith and I did some work.
That's really good. I think I need to
Some work.
wait.
Oh gosh.
Ma'am.
That being said, don't be a jack of all trades, or be a jack of all trades.
No.
Be who you are.
We're not doing
For
You
that.
can't be single faceted.
Be who you are.
Yes,
No,
be who
I
you
think
are.
that's my thing.
But people are naturally not single faceted.
No, what I was gonna. So I think I wanna pull a Sarah. If there's one way that we can close out this episode, I don't know if we're closing. I
Why
just
did it
made
say
that
like
assumption. Because that's what Sarah does. She tries to bring it back.
I do.
What is, because we're talking, I mean, we at least started off talking about our journeys, and some of us touched on like our little interview things and just that process. If there's anything that you could tell somebody or give advice, even to us, because we're still, I feel like you're never done interviewing. Like, even if we all think we know what we want to do right now, in 10 years we'll be sitting here probably like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. So
Remember that time when we had fun?
yeah, so it's like if you had to give yourself and those around you a piece of advice, what would you give? And obviously you can expand, but
I'm sorry with me.
Anybody can go.
You know what? Let's just make it.
I would say, like, imposter syndrome is a real thing, but always remember that you wouldn't have gotten to this point if you didn't belong in that room or in that conversation or in that space in that moment. There's a learning experience from everything, regardless of whether it turns out positive or negative, but you do belong in those spaces.
So Sarah took my point.
That's my...
Yeah. That's the
So
point that I
Ray-
cried on. So technically, I would think that's mine.
She did
My
shed a
fault.
tear.
All right, that's
I
Ashley,
shed
not
a
me.
tear.
Ashley said it, not me.
All right, so I'm just gonna piggyback on her point and I say this:
Facts.
you belong where you are, and sometimes you are taken out of places because you don't belong there. And wherever you end up, you belong exactly where you are as part of your journey.
Facts.
Everything happens for a reason.
What's your piece of advice?
What's your piece?
Like,
Make it different because we need to
piece-
diversify.
Is don't be afraid to talk to people when you're at your space. As in, like, sometimes when you go to a new space, you don't want to speak to anyone because you don't know anyone. But that lack of conversation could close a door that you don't even know was there for you to have. So my advice is to speak. People don't bite until they do.
Some of them do.
They have rabies shots for that.
I'm crying.
Humans have rabies.
You never know.
Child, them raccoons be biting during the day.
Okay, but that's a raccoon, right?
You talking about people?
If it bites a human,
Tetanus shot.
So then, if a raccoon bite a human,
No, we're not
and a
having
human
conversation.
bite another human, the
they-
second human
Pass
gets
the rabies.
No,
For real?
we're not doing this.
Yes,
Didn't they?
it's contagious.
So I can pass rabies too.
Of course you can.
So I have to bite you to pass
You
it.
must bite me.
You want to talk about raccoons,
Yes,
bro?
saliva
You want
into
the raccoon.
into the bloodstream.
So I have to bite you hard into your bloodstream.
Yeah,
Oh my
you must
Lord
break skin.
Jesus.
Or you could like spit.
So there's
Oh my
people
God.
outside walking with rabies.
Yeah.
Isn't that a one-shot cure? Like once you got it? Okay, what does rabies do to the human being?
Let's look it up.
I think my advice would be is they either like you or you don't, but you have to make sure that you like you. Yeah.
Good point.
Because it's either they like you or they don't. I think that's like the main thing that I think has been helpful for me. So,
Yeah.
And at the end of the day,
I like that.
own it. Own your journey, bro. Because only you are you.
Facts.
Period.
And it's yours.
Honey, it's yours. Anything you want, it's yours. Period. And
By
that's
the
how we
way,
ended it off.
Rabies usually starts at a mongoose, then can travel to a raccoon, and then to a dog. And once a dog bites a human, that's how it gets to the family. It can also pass from a bat or a fox.
thank you so much for that. We also want to thank you guys for joining to listen to that and everything else we had to say. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Click your notification bell. Click your little follow thing on Spotify. I don't use the other ones, so y'all gonna have to tell me what's there.
Same thing.
But yeah, make sure you're doing all of that stuff so that you can stay in tune with us. Join the conversation on Instagram, where we will be having a lot of these conversations going. Did you fart, Sarah?
Oh, Marianne hasn't moved from this position for the past minute. And if you got this far into the episode, DM me and say raccoon, man.
Alright.
No, don't DM her. DM Honey It's Yours on the post that we
Don't
did.
be them. Ashley gotta say something.